Happy Sunday, everybody. I'm the N-Scale Reviewer. Today we're going to go over Broadway Limited's SW7 in the Pennsylvania colors. Okay, let's go ahead and jump right into the body detailing. I think it was really well done, personally. The grab handles are nice and crisp. The applied ones here, and on the other side are nice and sturdy. I have a tendency to butterfinger things, so they're nice and strong. You don't have to worry about breaking them too easily. Can't necessarily see them in this, but the directional lights are really nice. They're acceptably bright. I like the separate bell detail here. It looks nice. Color, I'm not sure if it is on point or not, but good enough for my layout. The decals are applied, the lettering, all the small words. I'm not even sure what they are, but they look nice and crisp. I think they did a good job with it. I'll move this forward ever so slightly, see if we can get this in scene. Zoom in just a tick here. You can see there on the light, you can even read the numbers right there on the light. So for the price, I think it's a really good detailed model. So anybody who hasn't owned a Broadway Limited, all their models that I know of are sound equipped DCC models, and they're all load activated as far as I know. So as you start to pull a hill, you'll hear the throttle start to spool up, and that's a really cool feature. Something that's relatively common in HO scale and less common in N scale personally. Never been around an SW switcher myself, but from the videos I've watched and whatnot, the sound on this model seems to be pretty accurate. Don't know about the horn, but for some reason I really like the horn on this model. Sounds really crisp. I don't know, I just like it. So there's some things that are really cool about this model and some things that aren't really good. I try to put multiple hours of running time on anything I'm going to review. So this was my most recent purchase. Probably not the most time on my layout, but I've done some switching with it. And there are some caveats that you probably should be aware of before you purchase something like this. I don't know if this would be considered a beginner model or not, but it has some pickup issues, and this is the Paragon 4 version of this. I don't own and have never tried a Paragon 3, so I don't know what the differences are. But in my opinion, it is the short wheelbase on this machine that makes it as finicky as it is. Even the Atlases that I have back here can be finicky crossing switches, and they have a longer wheelbase than this. It's really short, and 2 wheels per truck versus 3 wheels per truck can make a big difference as well. And the space between those trucks can mean the difference between a nice easy crossover through a switch and really struggling. I want to say that I have pretty good power distribution on my layout. I've got feeders on all 3 sides of all my switches, and I do struggle with this thing when it really creeps through the switches. It has, it's a switcher, so it has really good slow speed capabilities, and it can pull a lot just, one tie at a time. On flat level surface, it can pull 6 to 8 cars, and when I say 6 to 8 cars, I mean something like my Rail-Link grain cars that are kind of overweight and have old microtrains, plastic wheels, so they got a little bit of rolling friction to them. For its size, it's got really good pulling power. It's also relatively weighty, So that can make a big difference. Um, I just reset the sound on it. So as long as you're rolling through switches relatively quickly, and you've got good power distribution, I think it's going to be really reliable. However, it is not like some of my other Broadway limiteds. My SW7s and my AC6000s, Paragon 3 or Paragon 4 in a couple cases, just go and go and go and go and go and don't require cleaning or maintenance for the most part. This particular model is just not a set it and forget it. In the probably 3 hours of runtime that I've had switching on my layout and multiple hours of just letting it run the loop, I probably had to clean the contacts where the wheels meet the trucks 2 times. I'm not sure if this is a product of my layout. My layout requires pretty much constant cleaning. I don't know if the area I'm at in Montana, where it's really dry all the time, creates more static and you get more of the black soot that ends up on things, but I definitely get a lot of it. I've tried all the tricks and nothing seems to work, so it must just be a product of where I live. But I do notice that this particular one tends to build up that soot deposit between the wheel and the copper pickup on there pretty quickly. So on a bigger layout where you take things down and clean them regularly, you probably wouldn't notice any issues. If you're a guy that's just got the 3 feet of track and running it in a circle and you got 2 or 3 switches, you're probably going to run into some reliability issues, not having proper feeding and that type of stuff. So just something to keep in mind. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump into the price performance tier and where I think this thing should fall. It's just not reliable enough for the price premium they're asking. Forget what MSRP is, but generally the going price online is anywhere from $160 to $180, possibly plus shipping. This particular model was a refurb. If you're diligent and you watch the Broadway Limited website, you can find decent stuff in the refurb section. This was one of them. I can't personally find what was fixed on this. It's possible that one of the wires connecting to the pickup looks like it has a little solder on it, so that also could be part of my issue with the pickups. But my other refurb models, I generally can find a little bit of super glue here or there. Couldn't find this one, anything on it. So full disclosure, this is a refurb model. But they give you a really big discount when you buy from them. And I want to say I got it for $135 shipped. So now we're talking like Kato with DCC level price, but this model has sound. If it was as reliable as I wish it could be, it would be 100% buy it all day at $150. That's an excellent price. And you can get them for about $150 depending on the paint scheme you want on Train World and some other places. You can also find deals on eBay. But at that price point, they're really not for the normal guy. You're gonna have to have a decent sized layout and some experience cleaning your models. Anytime you clean your model, it's a possibility you're gonna break it, and that's my thing. Is these models are expensive. I don't want to break them. The less I have to clean them, the less chance I have of actually breaking them. So I don't know that this is a buy. I have a hard time recommending this for the average person. I think it could be a really excellent model in a consist. The problem is with these sound locomotives, when you break connection, you restart your throttle and you get this little cutout, and it just draws your attention directly to the model. And on a normal DCC engine, it'll stutter a little bit and you don't really notice it. You might see a little judder in the cars or something of that nature. But on a sound locomotive, even running silent, it kind of does a restart and just draws your attention to it, and it's really immersion breaking and kind of ruins the experience. I don't think I'm going to keep this model. It just doesn't have the reliability. I might hold on to it and get a Kato version and just see how they run side by side. And it really pains me because I love how the sound works on this thing. When it starts to pull a hill with 8 cars behind it and it throttles up, that's just really cool. And maybe if I run it less through the switches and I just kind of divert it to run the loop, maybe it would be more fun and I would enjoy it more. So I might keep it for that reason. What I would really like to do is trade this one off and get 2 Great Northern, because I kind of have a headcanon situation on my layout for Great Northern stuff. So if I had 2 of them in the Great Northern scheme and I could run them back to back, maybe consisting up would just make runners out of them, and that would be the game changer. 2 engines just have way more pulling power than one. It must be something to do with, kind of a traction control situation. As one starts to slip, the other one picks up, and as soon as you lose wheel traction, you're done. So you will find, especially if you're pulling any sort of hill on an N scale layout, that all right. So all of that encompassing, I don't know that this is a recommend. If the price came down substantially, we could certainly reevaluate it, but at $150, I just can't recommend this model. It's just too expensive for the reliability issues that I've got. So with that said, thanks for watching, everybody. This is the N-Scale Reviewer, and I'll see you next time.